Williams.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good. And yourself?
I'm hanging in there, buddy. It's
Yes,
the final
sir. Yes, sir.
2 more days of training, and then I'm in rest mode.
Yeah, because you got nationals coming up.
Yeah.
As do we for a second time. This time the IFA Nationals, which will be in Irving, Texas, this coming Saturday. So,
yeah, and I got to shut some mouths out there, so I got work to do.
Oh, it wouldn't be pork chop, would it? Or
without
just
naming names.
Or just that entire crew.
Well, maybe the whole crew. I mean, they like to do things like posting videos to their story that have me taking losses from 25 years ago. Like it's a little ridiculous.
It's what newbies do. But
yeah.
Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to this channel because this is an awesome channel. And I think everybody and their grandmother has made predictions on the King of the Table 4. And I think we might be the ones to put a bow tie on predictions. But before we get into it, I got some facts and some notes here about King of the Table. There's some did you know? Did you know that this is King of the Table 4? Devin Larratt's been involved in 3 of them. Larry Wheels has been involved in 3 of them, And I'm looking at this, card. Am I going? And maybe because there were 4 matches in the last one, it's only 3 matches. I'm like going.
You know what? I thought I had missed something. And I was searching last night and this morning, trying to find the matches.
Yeah.
And I said this before, and I don't mean to steal your thunder or where you're going with this.
Steal the thunder.
But I have said this before, and I'm going to say it again.
Okay.
Core Sports, Larry Wheels, and the King of the Table promotion generally have done a terrible job of promoting their own event. This is not Mike Tyson era boxing where you promote one match and then you just kind of go to the wayside with everything else.
Mm-hmm.
It's been lots of talk about it, but there's nothing at your fingertips. It takes an effort to actually go in and find all the information in one place. If you go to the Core Sports website, you basically find the main event listed.
Right.
You can't find the whole card. And I actually ended up finding all of the matches, all 3 of them, on the Israel Arm Wrestling Club page. And it was the only place I could find all the graphics for each of the matches lined up, including the Neil Pickup and Coach Ray commentary graphics.
Right. And so, like Richard said in the chat over here, what's up, everybody? He's surprised Larry's not on here. And usually Larry throws himself on there, and that would have been the 3rd match, maybe the last match or whatnot. But yeah, I'm surprised he wasn't on there. But think about it, Richard. And this is what I'm about to say is all facts. Larry is 0 for 3 in his own King of the Table event. Let's be real. Whether it be Schoolboy, Brandon Allen, Khaled, he's 0 for 3. And so I sat there and said not too long ago after his last match with Khaled that he probably needs to do tournaments just so he can get some more condition on the table maybe. Because, yeah, you can do all the workout stuff in the gym. You can, bench press the world and all that kind of stuff. But unless you have a lot of going with all that power, doesn't mean anything. And Khaled has little to no experience in arm wrestling, and he just handled you like it was nothing. So outside of match 1. But, yeah, I'm surprised Larry's not on here either. So,
well, I am a little surprised, but also maybe, a little relieved. I don't need to see them trying to scrape up a match for Larry just so he's on there either,
Well, I would love to see Evan McGorn against Larry. That would have been nice.
You know what? At the risk of pissing some people off, I don't care to see that at all. And
right.
Why do I not care to see that? Well, I want to see Larry pull a little bit because of who Larry is.
Yeah.
But I also think the guys should earn their spot a little bit more, other than them being a big personality somewhere on the internet where they're doing their thing and they're drinking and they're snorting and fighting and whatever they're going to do. And I want to see real arm wrestlers on there, but I also want to see somebody that's up and coming. So Larry's taking a break and doing tournaments, Brian Gabriel says. Good. So that's good because he might have the worst stamina in the world as far as the super match is concerned. Has no way of managing his stamina, but yeah, whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah, but I'm kind of disappointed we only got 3 matches. But then again, I mean,
well, they'll drag that out for a 2-hour match. And you know as well as I do, the Devin and Levon one's going to take up a big chunk of time. Interestingly, well, let's not even start with that, but there's a little controversy because Ryan Bowen put out a video. And he said, this is the man that will determine who wins between Levon and Devin. And it was a picture of Bill Collins.
You know.
And Devin responded.
Yeah.
Very upset.
I don't know why. Because none of that's talked about when Devin won his matches. I think Devin is undefeated in King of the Table matches, right? Is he not?
I believe so, yeah.
And I think Bill Collins was there for all of those. Was he not?
Yep.
So what the hell is he bitching about?
I mean, Devin will fight and take some advantages if he can get them. A lot of them, if he can get them. And maybe some of the controversy is people think that he has the ability to get them with Bill Collins as a referee. But they said the same thing about Bart Wood. I mean, right. You almost need to cycle out the referee every match, have a fresh ref up there so they don't get exhausted.
Listen, all you got to do is just arm wrestle. I don't understand why people put so much thought in, well, who's going to be the ref, and I don't want to get screwed. It's like, if you're worried about the ref and who's reffing, then you've already lost mentally. You know, because you got 2 jobs to do, okay? Show up and win. All that other stuff is just details, in my opinion, because speaking as a ref, you know, you kind of get burnt out on guys just bitching and complaining. It's like, look, man, you know the rules. They made a big old thing about the rules with, remember, was it Brzezinski and Devin? They made a big old episode, maybe even 2 of them, about the rules and what to expect and this, that, and the other, and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like going, if you're a competitor, your job is to understand the rules. Whatever federation or organization you're in. And by the way, if I'm not mistaken, every event you've been to, Ryan, do you tell me or not, does the refs get up there and explain what the cadence is? Do the refs not get up there and say, hey, this is what we're going to call? Whether it be a bunny hop, big elbow foul, parallel pin, they explain that because at some tournaments, you're going to have some new people. And so you want to make sure they're all, all zoned in. So I just get, tired of people just crapping on the referees or thinking, don't let the referee determine the match. Leave no doubt. That was a football term we used back in the day. Leave no doubt. Don't let it come down to the refs,
I'm laughing at some of the comments here. And Cody, I'll get to yours. But the controversy with the rules with Devin and Levon is the fact that they agreed to a rule set, or at least Devin thought they did. Levon might not have read his contract all the way through or misunderstood it, but he actually has another video he put out where he's talking to Adam Silver, and Adam says, yes, they had an agreement for the rules before they signed the contract. So there you have it. Devin was not bullshitting. He went to the man himself, and he said, yep, you're right. So I guess we're going to auto strap. Oh, Lord. I guess that's happening, which is the weirdest rule. But if they agreed to it, they agreed to it.
Again, why are you making a big deal out of just arm wrestle? Put your elbow down, you grip up, straighten the wrist, square the shoulders. When they say go, you can do whatever the hell you want within the rules.
But Jody, you know as well as I do, there's so much more to it with Devin Larratt than that.
Yeah. True. No, I understand that. Like I said, anybody in the chat knows this. If you're going to try to get an advantage, and everyone does to a certain degree, if you try to get an advantage and the ref allows it, then you ain't complaining about it. But don't complain about it when you get caught. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, Cody, there's no such thing as Canadian vanilla as far as I know. It's a marketing ploy because I think Canada imports most of its vanilla from Mexico.
Ooh.
So, but maybe Canadian vanilla has a better ring to it than Mexican vanilla. I don't know. So I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question, Cody, because I've never even seen that before.
Well, there you go. There you have
Yeah.
it, Mr. Spur. You want to try to knock down some of these matches?
Yeah, let's. Well, I mean, you want to just keep on going with Devin and Levon because
yeah, I
let's
don't want to
start
make
at
a
the top.
prediction yet, but I do want to talk about that, and I do want to touch base on the fact that the marketing from Core Sports. You would think that this is the only match going on. Some forget, unless you're a junkie like us, some people forget that Corey West and Kardec is pulling. Some people forget that Barbosa and Irakli is pulling. Hell, at one point, I got so clustered that I thought Irakli and Barbosa were on East versus West. But, yeah, it is on King of the Table 4. But it's like, this was more, the hype with Devin and Levon kind of burnt me out because it started so early. I think they were talking about this. Weren't they talking about that like in April? Like the minute Devin beat John, it was always Devin Levon. And I honestly got burnt out with it because it was so far out. Promotion is good, but then it got to be every day.
It was pretty one-sided too.
Yeah.
I mean, Levon hasn't really said anything, and that's the X factor. What the hell has Levon been doing? Has he been training? Is he going to come in and he's going to weigh 500 pounds? Like, what's happening?
This is why I like Levon, because with all the shenanigans Devin's doing, and call it what you want, he can be mad at me from what I'm saying. I don't care. He has a tougher skin than me, but Levon's just not saying nothing. Now, can he understand what the hell Devin's saying? That's one thing. Can he even understand what the hell he's saying or doing? Does he even care? Because you got to look at it this way. Levon has, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but he has handlers, meaning that he has people to, focus on that to be the filter while he focuses on his training, because up until this point, this is or will be Levon's biggest match, period. He's taking them all on. Bresnan, Kordeka, Chafee, he's taking them all on. Took him down. The tally back in the top 8 stuff, he's taking them all on and he's beating them. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he's 6-0 to everybody he's pulled since he's been on top. 6 goose egg.
Yeah, he hasn't lost a round, and he doesn't really foul. He's just looked incredibly dominant, and I hope his people around him are just saying to him, "Yeah, Devin just says he's looking forward to arm wrestling you," not telling him what actually has been going on. GB, I hate it. To your question, what do I think of Larrett's shenanigans in the setup every single pull? I hate it. I think he works on wearing out 2 people, his opponent and the referee, and eventually gets an advantage. Hate it.
The thing is, if you're a referee, say, look, the whole world is going to watch this match. They don't want to see all this all that. They don't want to see all that kind of stuff. Put your elbow down. Let's go. Because if everyone complains about how long it takes for setups, all that kind of stuff, well, then that kind of defeats the purpose when Devin's doing his stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, get up there, get a grip, and let the whole world see what you can do. Period.
I just hope that the referee has the balls to call, and I hope this is a rule. And maybe Neil, he's in there. He asked me a question we'll get to in a sec. Maybe he can clear this up for me. Is it a rule that someone gets warnings or fouls for intentionally delaying the match? Because if I think what's going to happen is Levon's going to put his arm down, get a grip, and be ready to roll. And one guy's going to be intentionally delaying that match.
Well, Devin's done that in the past. He's been on the other side where he's complaining about to the ref about other pulls he's pulling, that you got to get a grip. You got to get a grip. What are you doing? What are you doing? Foul him. He's done it in the past.
Yeah.
I think he's done that. He's done that in the Arm Wars, I believe. Sin City against Richard Lepke's. Look it up. He's done that. Richard stepped back, did this stuff. Here's Devin. to the ref, hey, he has to get a grip. He has to grip me. Foul him. Look it up. 2010. You were there, Ryan. You were there.
It's 10 feet away.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So anyway, my official prediction, man, I don't know. I said that there's a couple things here. We haven't seen Levon. We're going off what he's done recently with Dave Chaffee or whoever. Mm-hmm. We have seen Devin. He looks like he's stronger than he's ever been. I don't know if it's enough.
Well, gee, I mean, I don't know. His wrist is so thick, and I'm talking about Levon.
Yeah.
Devin has the frame to get bigger, but is he a legit super heavyweight? The last time Devin pulled somebody that's a legit super heavyweight, he got 6-0'd. Granted, it was his left arm, but he took the match against Saplinkov, right?
Yeah, he was way lighter, though. I mean, he's not the guy he is now.
Right, which is good. I'm still trying to figure out why he took that match, but, with the extension and all that kind of stuff. But it is what it is. I think he'll be more serious than ever because I think in his mind, this will be, and this is, y'all can quote me if you want. I think for Devin, and I don't want to step on his toes. I think this match is probably the most important match for him because if he pulls this out in his mind, I think he will be the man up top. This match will make him the greatest of all time, the GOAT, if you will.
I think what you're going to see here is Levon win 4 matches, and then they're not going to pull the remainder. He's going to bow out of the final 2.
Thanks for correcting me, Mr. Pickup, on that.
Yeah. Did say, don't you run from me and not foul him. Yeah. But whatever. So that's my prediction, Jody. What's yours? 4-0 Levon, because they're not going to do the last 2 rounds.
It's rough, man, because I do want to see Devin stop him. If that match stops, it's going to get very interesting because Levon's never been stopped before. It's been like, okay, got it, boom. Or somebody try to bail and slip and get into the strap, but no one's really stopped him. If Devin can stop him, it's going to get very, very interesting. I know everybody in North America is rooting for Devin, because I guess in any sports, baseball, football, basketball, when you have this dynasty, it's cool for a while, but then it gets repetitive. Then you want to see somebody knock off the champ, right?
Sorry, man. I think I'm cheering for Levon on this one.
Which is fine, and I'm like, just who I want to win and who I think will win is 2 different things, right?
I don't think you can see a repeat of what Devin has done to prepare for this match ever again. I think this will be it. And I want to see somebody kind of win that can stay around and continue on their legacy. And I think he's the guy that's going to do it for a long time.
If Levon wins, then who's the guy? Who's next?
Yeah, because I've heard words like ambassador used to describe Devin. It's definitely not a word I would use. I don't know, man. It's a generation of encouragement of being more professional and pancakes and different prep and all kinds of stuff that I think just has changed the sport in ways that aren't always good.
Right.
I just don't. And it's a different opinion than a lot of people. But I think there's a lot of people that are a lot of haters coming forward that aren't necessarily on the side. And you can call them haters, but they just have a different opinion than what Devin is up to and what he's been doing. So
and it's scheduled for 6 rounds, yes?
Scheduled for 6 rounds, but as we've seen in King of the Table, if somebody wins the first 4, they can opt out of the last 2.
I think I'll say Levon
4-1. See, I think if Devin wins any of the first 3 matches, Devin wins the whole thing.
Right.
I think if Levon wins, he's got to win 4 in a row. if Devin gets a bite on Levon and stops him anywhere, he will bleed him to death. So it's Levon 4-0 or Devin wins.
Gotcha.
That's what I think is going to happen. Yeah. Now Laleton, Neil has thrown out there to whoever is next, whoever wins. But shouldn't it be Salayev?
Well, wait a minute. Neil, we don't want to forget your question that you had asked earlier. Matter of fact, do that now, and I'll come back to that comment. Go ahead, Ryan. What was that question Neil had?
Neil was asking about the next match, Corey West.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Wasn't there just a match a couple of Saturdays ago where Trubin was involved, Vitaly was involved, and I believe Vitaly, I can't remember if he lost or not.
Salayev just beat him.
Yes.
At that tournament in Russia.
Right. And, for all intents and purposes, because whatever they got going on over there, I don't want to get in politics, but he's another guy. He's just, you don't see enough of him to actually, put him, is he next in line? And if you go by, your last outing, Salayev beat him. It's like going, okay, it's just hard right now because there's Levon, Devin, and then everybody else. As we speak right now, June 20th.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I'd say there's a lot of matches to make. I mean, it gets a little muddy after those top two guys, I think.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Now, up until a couple weeks ago, it was pretty clear for me that Laleton was the guy that was next. I'm not so sure of that now. Dmitry Salayev might be next.
I want to know if when was Levon's last loss? Was that to what's his name? Sabin?
Yeah, but that
was like 4 years ago, one or something like that.
A long time ago. It was different time, different scenario, different.
Levon.
Yeah, and then you had there's Neil saying, I'm going to put this up there. Salayev won a main draw tournament. Effectively a different sport. Yeah, I can see that. If Devin wins a round, he wins. Yeah, that's what I was getting at. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then the Grippler, Carnegie, long time, my friend. How you doing? It might not determine the good, but it will determine who has the best form ever. Meaning whoever wins this match would have beaten all versions of all the best pullers ever. Agree or disagree?
Yeah, I would say that's probably an accurate statement. Now, the other thing to consider, because we have had this conversation before, maybe not you and I have definitely had this conversation with my former broadcast partner, Mr. Chris Gobby, who stated at one point that he thought the strongest arm to ever be placed on a table was Travis Bagent's left arm at its absolute best. He said the best arm wrestling arm ever, best form, was Travis Bagent's left at its absolute best. What year are we talking? Man, I don't know. Like, there was a time when he was unbeatable by the current active arm wrestlers.
Oh, I would agree.
And maybe it was simply the gap between where he was at that time and now. But I mean, we all kind of seen what Devin has gone through and how much he's improved.
Yeah.
Or appears to have improved simply by gaining the amount of muscle mass and the way he's training and just the general appearance of him. Now, if Levon shows up and blows him away, then there's no doubt in my mind that he is the greatest to ever have the greatest arm to ever be on a table on that moment. And I guess the opposite can be said for Devin if he shows up and just blasts through Levon.
Unfortunately, and I hate to say this, but if I thought in my brain, if there was one guy who could probably really put the boots to Levon and make him struggle, unfortunately is not here with us anymore. Mr. Andre Pushkar.
Of course, because
I think that guy, prior to his tragic death, that guy was the guy. He was the guy, right-handed, in my opinion.
He was the man when he passed. He was the man. I think that would be accurate. I think he was right on top, with the argument that Denis Saplenkov could be the guy that was giving him the most trouble at the time.
Right. But
and Grippler says Travis might have been the furthest ahead of number 2. Yeah. So it's a fair argument.
Yeah.
We're getting into some muddy or some deeper waters here, just talking about this one match. It's
we're 26 minutes in. We
haven't even covered the other, and that's why King of the Table 4 only has 3 matches, Jody.
Wow. Yeah, you're right. Mr. Pickup, we are going to dive into your question. Corey West, Alex Kradeka. Interesting match. Wow. I mean,
I am genuinely intrigued by this match.
Is that more for some reason? And I don't want to put any shade on the main event, but I feel this is more interesting than Levon and Devin, only because you got 2 guys going like this.
For the hardcores, it could be more interesting.
Yeah.
For the general fans, of course, Levon and Devin is way more interesting.
Right.
But I mean, equally, all 3 of these matches are fantastic and hard to call. And you could see one guy dominate the other one, but you just don't know. And Alex versus Corey is one of those ones. It's such a contrast in styles. If Alex can top roll him, it's a long day for Corey. I think if it goes to the strap, well, you know what? Man, if I can compare my little bit of data that I have, and I might have more than most, having recently pulled both these guys, they both felt like iron in the strap on the left arm. And a little bit, flippy floppy before that. So it's hard to say, man. And if it's coming down to raw power in the arm, which I think it might, Corey West could possibly win this.
I say this. And, I'm thinking here's Corey's arm, here's Alex's arm. I think if Corey wants to win this match, Corey needs to get into the strap so it kind of nullifies the top roll just a little bit more and brings it more of the match toward him, where he needs to get not so much tall because, he needs to get real inside and be a table boss. What I mean by table boss is that you got to control the center of the table. So when they say go, he needs to down pressure, side pressure at the same time this way. So that way Alex doesn't load back. Because I think if Corey gets all that weight and strength and comes down with it, it'll open up Alex just a tad bit. And that's all you need, just a little bit. And then Corey can engage that side pressure to the pad in the strap. I don't think that can happen outside the strap. I could be wrong, though.
Yeah. And you know what? I think you're seeing the emergence of and Neil's kind of talking about this in the chat, how essentially they can be different sports. And he's pointing out that Pushkar was actually a main draw tournament puller more successfully than he is a super match puller. But I think with Corey West and Alex, you're seeing 2 guys that are kind of specialists in the emerging as top super match pullers. Mm-hmm. But my goodness, man, I think I'm going to say it. I think Corey West is going to win.
Can you imagine if he takes this where he's at now? And about a year ago, he was like, what the hell, right? And, I don't think he got – because, I mean, let's be real. There's a lot of people out there who throw shade at Corey, who thought that, because he trains with Michael Ty, that Michael Ty was kind of getting his foot in the door for Corey. There was some – and Corey has earned every single thing he's gotten up to this point. Doesn't say a whole lot normally. He puts his head down. He trains hard. He goes out there and competes, and he gets the job done. And you can't do nothing but respect a person such as Corey when it comes to that. You know, he doesn't really get on. He doesn't have a social media outlet, as far as I know. He doesn't have a channel. I'm sure if he did, he'd have 1,000 guys just like that. But
no, he has none of that. He goes on other people's stuff once in a while, but it's never his focus.
right.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you. So I don't know. That just seems more interesting to me than, you know. And like I said, we all want to see, the whole world wants to see Devin Levon, because it's been talked about it for like 9 years, it feels like. But you know, you should not take away the Corey Kardecka match, because that's just as appealing as any other one. You know, just
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah. It's solid match, man. I got Corey winning. Who do you got?
I do. I mean, all these matches are 6 rounds, correct?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I got it. And here's the thing, though, because they're scheduled for 6 rounds, but I believe the last couple King of the Table 4s, usually when someone wins 4, they just stop.
Well, in most cases, yeah. The option is there to just stop. So, I mean, you saw Sarah and Gabby being exhausted and then opting to not pull the last 2 matches, which Sarah probably would have won.
Oh, it was turning, the tables were turning.
Yeah.
But at the same time, once you get 4, it's like if I'm pulling, you know, at a king of the table, whereas in the arm wars, 2 different things, right?
Yeah.
King of the table, you have the option not to pull anymore because you're thinking, hey, I got the win. Why do I need to pull and risk injury? However, with the arm wars thing, like, look, I'm coming to pull. That's the whole purpose. Listen to the moniker, arm wars. You're in a war. You're going to pull 6 no matter what. So if I solidify 4 wins, I'm damn sure say, well, maybe I can 6-0 this guy, because that speaks more volumes, right? So, you know, why I'm just guessing, if you're not going to do the 6 rounds, then don't schedule for 6 is where I'm coming from, I guess. At least in arm wars, you know what you're getting. You're getting 6 rounds no matter what.
PAL used to do it. I think that's still the model, where there was cash in each round.
Right.
So that they pulled all 6 rounds.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Grippler asked me if rock climbers would be a good target for arm wrestling recruitment. I would say probably. Gymnasts, rock climbers.
I've noticed there's a new guy in our team. And, you know, these guys that like plumbers, framers, things like that, you know, mason workers, construction guys, they're using their hands on a daily. And when you grip up with them just to see what kind of power they got, they're like granite. And I'm like, wow. What we got there, Ryan? Read it to us.
We got Living Hints, $27 Canadian super chat. There are a few Can-Am connections that we share. Respect for a common purpose. Support for the Manitoba Mastiff. Keep the head strong. Nice. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Cheers to that comment.
And then Preacher says, except on arm bets, the bet is Devin only needs to, so it's a shutout stake.
Okay.
So I don't know about the stakings, man. I just, it's not something I participate in anymore. I got a bad taste in my mouth because I made all those bets. And then I was like, holy shit, I won a lot of money. And I went on there and all my bets were canceled the night before because of the last minute rule change. Remember when that happened?
Oh, yeah. I understood it. I don't know. I mean, keep it simple. Who's going to win? You know, where, well, they can win, but if he gets one win, that can mean, hey, if I can cause my guy to elbow foul a few times, I can get the win. I secure the money, even though I didn't do a damn thing.
Yeah. So we've got one more match we got to talk about.
Barbosa and Arackley.
Yeah. Probably the most under talked about match. And it's going to be a good one.
Yeah. I'm assuming that's the first match of the day. I'm only, you know, I'm guessing that's the first match of the day.
Now, it's another one that's really, really hard to predict. I think Marcio is coming back to a place that he hasn't been to in a number of years.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to see an amazing performance out of him. And I'll pick Barbosa to win the match. But there'll be wars.
It's going to come down to who has the most stamina. Wasn't Irakli just coming off his match with was it Brzezinski, or am I picking somebody else? Who did Irakli just pull just recently?
Was it Hutchings?
Maybe that's who it was. But different styles though, because Hutchins is all inside. You crack his wrist, he's still coming inside. Whereas Barbosa doesn't have that drive sideways like this, but he damn sure has it like that.
Yeah.
Different style, different angle, attacks a different part of your arm and hand. So is he ready for that? And I just hope, and because Barbosa is so explosive, so explosive that sometimes he tends to get a little erratic on the table, and then you see a couple elbow bunny hops, and they're going to call it. Now, I don't know if it's the same rule set as what Devin and Levon have, whatever the contract is, but, the thing is, though, I think if that elbow stays on the pad, I think it might be a long day for Irakli.
That's a hell of a compliment Rippler just paid to Marcio.
The most exciting puller of all time. Meaning to watch or just
probably just explosiveness, intensity. Some of his matches he had with Matt Mask were some of the funnest ones to watch because they're both like wild men up there.
Mm-hmm.
But Marcio's been around forever, and he's looking like he's back in true form. And it's a great match to start off the card because I think it's going to be battles.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be an amazing day of arm wrestling. What a contrast, though. You got East versus West, where you've got 15 matches or whatever it is, and then you got King of the Table 3.
Hey, isn't this 4?
No, 3 matches. I mean.
Oh, okay. King of the Table. Okay, gotcha. Hey, don't forget next month the Monster Factory. We're not
Monster
done yet.
Factory's coming, so that's July the July the what
9th,
now?
July 9th.
Yeah, and Canadian Nationals is July long weekend.
See, IFA Nationals this coming Saturday, Irving, Texas, if you need us. But Corey has to be careful because, and I say that because it's really gonna. Do you ever think that people take matches and they're that close together? Do you think that might be a detriment?
For me, it would be. Corey's a pretty young guy. He recovers a little quicker than most of us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he'll be all right. All depends. If he gets opened up 4 times by Kardeccia, then probably it's not going to be something he can recover from that quickly. But if he does what we think he's going to do, then I think he'll be just fine for the next match.
Now think about it. This coming, Saturday, which would be the 26th?
Yeah.
So think about this for a second. June 20, and I'm thinking Corey West and everybody in the chat, please give us your thoughts. June 26th, King of Table 4, Corey West is pulling Alex Kardeccia, right-handed. July 9th, Monster Factory, Corey West is pulling John Brzezinski. Now, John is not pulling anything anytime soon. He's training just for that. And the reason why I brought that up is because, all right, Kardeccia is not some walk in the park. And just as you said, Ryan, if Corey gets opened up, Alex is not, and when I say not nice, I don't mean this in a mean way, but he's not going to take you lightly. He's going to try to explode and beat you to the pad. I'm hoping there's no damage from that because when you're going against John Brzezinski, I assure you he's going to be watching this match, and he's going to dissect that match from top to bottom, left to right.
Yeah, 100% he will do that. And it's going to be interesting because we'll all be watching. And if we see anything kind of go sideways in that match, all of a sudden we're going to be thinking about changing our predictions maybe in the Brzezinski match. Not that we're picking Corey to win it yet, but, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just something to keep your eye on, everybody out there, because
yeah,
you know,
so that's King of the Table 4. Grippler says, Ryan, you and Big Rick should pull to determine a number 3 in Canada, and winner takes on Matt. Is that something you consider? Grippler, I assume you're talking about the right arm, and my right arm is not top 3 in Canada, buddy. Not at the moment. So if you see me pull it all at nationals, it might be masters. And it's still coming back, and it feels okay, but it doesn't feel like where it was when I went over to pull with Alex. So it's going to be a while, and in a year we might be having this conversation again, but it's going to be that long. Left arm, I'm ready to pull right now, and that's how it is.
What's Ian doing these days? Is he going to be at nationals?
I don't know, Grippler. You coming to nationals? And then we got some interesting things going on. You want to touch on the Ryan Bowen situation with him and Gary are going at each other again. I saw.
What is that about? Like,
well, okay, at the risk of being demonetized, Gary kind of lost me. I'm a Gary supporter. I'm a Ryan supporter too, for that matter, but when Gary was talking on his video about comparing the arm wrestling community to a family that tries to, I don't even want to say it, man, cover up some abuse towards children to not embarrass the family or something like that. And he's comparing that to Ryan stealing his content and using it for his own channel.
We still on that?
Yeah, we're still on that. We're still on that. The video is out today. I watched it this morning. I wish he would just continue to pump out content. And yeah, here's Neil. I think Neil was on that. I saw him in the live chat over there. But in the midst of all this, other people are making some nasty videos that I haven't sought out or watched. Right. So I'm not interested about Ryan Bowen and doing some nasty things. But I guess when you're in the spotlight and you're one of the most successful channels, people are going to take their shots.
Yeah, I mean, it's the world we live in. Anytime you have a social media podium or a stage, you know, you're going to get some people that like what you do. You're going to get some people that don't like what you do. That's just the way it is, right? So I've been crucified on my own, you know. I've been crucified by Travis on my own show, believe it or not. But
on your own show,
yeah. But you know, it happens. You know, I don't take anything personal, but some way, somehow, you wonder if that some people are doing that kind of stuff to get more attention on themselves. I don't know.
Well, and the problem, well, the one thing is it's anonymous. Like the guy that's doing the. Yeah, I don't want to publicize it too much, but and I haven't watched it. I don't know where it is. But Ryan is not doing anything that nobody else isn't doing. Like, I'm not stealing content. Jody, you're not stealing content.
Mm-mm.
But there are whole channels based on highlights of other people's content.
Yeah.
And it's something that's allowed.
Well, first of all, I'm not smart enough to even do that kind of stuff. If you... So here's the funny part. If you go back on the Armward Savage search, I put my video out there. It probably wasn't the best video. I'm not a smart person when it comes to splicing videos and putting them all. That's not me. I'll be the first to admit that. So Neil Pickup, I'm sorry if it didn't come out the best way, because I think Uncle John and Aussie Arm Wrestler kind of gave me a grade on that. Wasn't the best. They thought it was more, you know, sizzled and steak, so to speak. So but I'm not smart enough to even like splice all that kind of stuff, but take people's content. You know, I've never done that. I've never done that. I'm not smart enough to do it once, but it's just out of respect. I'm like, you know, this is, I don't know. That's just it's weird, you know. So
it's highlights. I mean, there's TV shows that are based on taking people's clips off the internet and like Tosh.0 and putting them on their show and talking over them. What maybe they should have done is put a link back to the person's channel for the original video
in the description.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, for example, in our description, you got a link back to Jody's channel. You guys should head over there and hit subscribe.
Like and subscribe, please. I would appreciate that. Hey, highlight that comment from Neil, Ryan.
Imagine my surprise when I looked in the mirror and it turns out he was right. Huh.
Here's the thing. For all these newer pullers, and probably I would say 4 years and under. Because I'm going to tell you, a decade ago, I've been in the sport 12 years. A decade ago, we didn't have a lot of trolls. I think the only troll out there was like Gobby. And now we got the troll army. We got nothing but trolls. To sit there and like disrespect, you know, Neil Pickup is like, have you lost your cotton picking mind? Because of all the stuff that man has done for this sport, and to sit there and call him out like that, like, are you kidding me? Like, come on, people, know your history. Don't be cracking on Neil. Hell, don't be cracking on Gary Roberts, because when I first got into the sport, you only had two things. You had the Northeast message board, and you had RMTV with Gary Roberts. That was all. That was all you had. Social media wasn't out the way it is now, right? So, you know, people need to stop all that stuff. It's all these newbies doing that dumb stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry, Neil, I had to, you know, back you up on that, because that pisses me off when people cracking on Neil and he's doing everything he can for the sport for a long period of time, then to have some yahoo sit there and, you know, crack on him like that burns me up.
I'm trying to read this comment here. Corey said to Evan that Dave was stronger than Levon in their match fresh in the first round, but Levon just had the better hand. What do you guys think of that?
Well, I'll tell you what. We all thought going into that match, Dave would be the one, can match power for power. And hell, I mean, I was kind of in shell shock when I saw Dave go down the way he did, you know. And then I thought, no one's going to beat this guy. It's going to take some trickery or some kind of unique style for someone to pull off a win against Levon. But Levon just kind of does that. What can you do, you know?
Yeah. Well, buddy, that's almost time for us.
Yes, sir. Everyone, thank you for joining us on the show today. And I know good and damn well come next Monday, we'll have all kind of stuff. So everybody should be chiming in on that.
Hopefully we're talking about clean pins without too much bullshit and no controversy.
I freaking hope so.
That's what I'm hoping for. I want a definitive win on all of these matches. No injuries, no bullshit with the refereeing, none of that stuff to talk about. Just one guy coming out on top.
Just pin the guy. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Seriously, just pin the guy and everything else falls into place.
Yeah.
So, Ryan, my friend, it's been awesome as always to do this show with you every Monday morning, you know. So that is my partner in crime in this sport. So just so you guys know, I said it on the air. You can share it. My partner in crime on this show, Mr. Ryan Espy. My friend, enjoy the rest of your day and the rest of your week. And everybody, as always, see ya when we see you.
Right on, man. If you haven't yet, in the description, Jody's channel. Get over there and hit subscribe.
I just put 2 new videos up there. Little training videos up there. Check them out.
All right. See everybody next week.
Take care, y'all.